Hi, my name is Kieran. You look hungry. Take a seat. I'll fetch you your meal. Oh, what's that? You want my firstborn child? Well, it's on special. Hello everybody and hi, my name is Kieran. Welcome to May I Take Your Order, which seems like a totally normal eat food, have good time. Sometimes I think I should research the games before I play them, but I also like just going in blind. Alright, I've been filling out a few applications today. This is the last one. I've been applying to work at restaurants all over. It might not seem glamorous, but I want to see how different places are run. If I want to open my own restaurant someday, it's crucial to see what does and doesn't work. Fair. Very fair. A friend told me I should save my top pick for last, and I should really kick him for that. My hand's about to fall off. It's a pretty ritzy establishment, but comfortable. What is ritzy? I only know Ritz crackers, and they are very comfortable. Fancy, but not overpriced. Important clientele, but still kind and inclusive. Okay, I could get with that. If you can't make connections here, you're dead. Financially speaking. Gosh, yes, thank you. And the food? Remarkable. I've never heard of anyone ever having a bad meal there. I gotta know how they accomplish so much. So I try not to be too nervous and fill this out like it's any other application. Oh, I see. My first name, if you watched my YouTube channel, you would know, is Kieran. Here we go, Kieran. So weird to say my own name. I fill in my address. Oh, I can put that into 50. No. You thought. You're not gonna get that from me. It's not gonna happen. I fill in my address and try not to despair over my handwriting before getting to the personal section. My gender is... I'm a big swinging penis-having male. And that's exactly what I fill out on every application that needs to know. And I finish filling out the form. I cap the pen, lean back in my chair. Man, it's nice to be done. Yeah, I like, well, I don't like being stressed, but I like finishing stressful things. Well, except for heading outside and turning them all in, one at a time. Yeah, that's not fun. Better get to it. Alright, so are those people very, very thin? Well, at least they're in the restaurant, at least. Get some meat and them bones. 2 weeks later, and I'm waist deep in my first Saturday shift at the restaurant. Oh, nice. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. Yeah, it looks pretty dead. After 7 hours of the weekend rush, I'm ready to go home. Mustachio Bros! How you doing? I want to get suspenders one day too. That's me, ladies and gentlemen. That's my future. I stop off at table 6 and go through the motions. Thank you for dining with us, sir. My name is Kieran. I'll be your server this evening. He smiles at me. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Kieran. Oh, you flirt. Have you dined with us before, sir? Yes, indeed. I'm quite happy to be back. Just you this evening, sir? No, my girlfriend will be here shortly. He's a stud! He is me! I'll just have a cup of coffee while I wait for her. I'll go get that for you right away then. No rush. She won't show. Countless families and couples have come and gone today, but for the past hour, that one guy's been clogging up table 6. Oh crap, is she actually not? You doing alright, sir? He checks his watch again. Yes, I mistook the time. She'll be here any second. Oh, he is like me. He's been saying that for the past 45 minutes. I tell him to pack it up and leave, but he doesn't have the look I'd expect of someone in his position. There's anxiety, but only a little bit. There's no disappointment. Not a shred of doubt in his eyes. He really thinks... Excuse me. Stood up guy. You've graduated. Well done. He looks up at me. It seems he's come to some sort of decision. Thank goodness. But this is a restaurant with crayons, correct? Yes, sir. We have those for kids. Excellent! A sting of ferocity enters his eyes. One that doesn't quite pair naturally with crayons. It is me. This is my future. One, please. And red, if you've got it. Yeah, sure. Not about to argue with a customer, so I head to the front. It's not exactly usual, but the guy's been sitting here for a half an hour with no phone. He's sitting there for half an hour. But he's been saying that she would be here for the last 45 minutes. With no phone. I'm caught between pity and irritation. Hope for the umpteenth time that he has enough empathy to tip well on a single cup of coffee he's been nursing. There's a small tin with several crayons. We try to keep fresh ones ready. I grab... No, man's going through something. Give him the red. Goodness. I snatch up a red crayon. No sense being mean to him. He may be weird, but he's probably having a bad night too. Dude, honestly. I bring the crayon back to him and hand it over. Thank you, Mr. Kieran. It's no big deal. Hey, are you okay? I saw you don't have a cell phone, but we could call your girlfriend and... No warning. No nothing. He knocks everything off the table and climbs right on. What? Sir? Please get down. His deft hand scrawls a circle, then another, then sections off the area, slicing through as if the crayon were a knife. Is your girlfriend Satan? He fills it with symbols. They look almost like zodiac signs. Homo samhum namni amenihil alienum Puto. It's like I stood up too fast. There's a rushing to my head. There's a pressure, like my ears are going to... Oh! Oh! That is creative. I like that. Ah! The tablecloth rips and there's a spray of sweet-smelling fluid. I leap away from the table as something bursts out. Oh, CaTHICClu! Looking thick. Wet spiked appendages are flailing all over, slapping and snaking their way over the windows and doors. They're fleshy, but soft. Too soft. And they mush and disfigure as they slam against everything in sight. One smacks the hat off another diner, who continues to eat her meal, unfazed. Nobody's screaming. And nobody notices me on the ground, arms raised to protect my face and throat, too tight to scream again. But that's okay. The thing is screaming enough for the entire restaurant. It's letting out a dual-tone screech, high and low, but I can't discern one throat, let alone two. Crayon thrown to the floor, the stood-up guy, and worst diner ever, starts to call out at it. Sweetie! For goodness sakes, put your body on. We're in a nice restaurant. It screeches and roars back at him. I know, but... He waves a bundle of cloth at it. I brought you some clothing, and it's super comfy. It slurps up the bundle of fabric, and the creature bubbles and draws back in on itself, twisting until... Oh! I emerge. You're here! You had me worried, so I figured I'd help break the barrier down a bit. Teleporia, you have no idea how good it is to see you. When he says that word, my ears finally pop, my teeth grit. It's a bad word. Don't look at me. It's not a curse word per se, not so much a word you wouldn't say in front of your boss. Feels like the wrong answer in a classroom or meeting. That moment when everyone turns and looks at you. And you just want to sing through the floor. I just want to sing through the floor. I want to very quietly go get my coat, change my name, and move to whatever town is on the exact opposite point of the globe from where I'm currently standing. You informed me that the barrier was too frail in this portion of your world. I will hold you responsible for the trouble. He's beaming at the thing that came out of the hole, but I can't look at it. It hurts to roll my eyeballs towards it, like I'm dehydrated. Oh, no! Just so hideous. I mean, beautiful. Please don't kill me. I mean, it's still me. When I close my eyes, the dark behind my eyelids is so cool and so soft. Huh? There are tears running down my cheeks. I hadn't noticed. The guy, Hendrik, beams and gestures towards the gaggle of eyes and puffy wool. This is my girlfriend. Teleporia. Teleporia.
Impudent microbe. I may choose to craft for myself the form of a creator, a birthing one. But I am capable of far greater creations than your prepubescent females.
Please don't be dating prepubescent females.
That's not me. And far more erroneously, your inflated ego thinks I would deign to refer to you as any form of companion.
Her words wash over him like a gentle breeze. Looks like she could rip his face off, but her roar just makes his eyes brim with joy. We've been dating for about 400 years now, and though the long-distance thing has been a bit of an annoyance, we make it work.
The moment I finally devise an effective method of accomplishing your demise, I will rip your soul from your ever-regenerating body and chew you into a gruel.
Maybe this is like my relationships. He sits down at the all-but-destroyed table and picks up his menu. But until that beautiful day when I can be with you forever, you're going to need to eat something else. Teleporia stops. She looks at me and bounces between eyes, trying to make contact with one that doesn't stare down into my deepest inadequacies.
There is human fuel here.
Her mouth breaks open into a smile.
Excellent. You are spared from punishment, Hendrik, if only for the moment.
He sits down, but not on a chair. Dozens of her tentacles are still present throughout the entire room, spikes driven deep into the surface, blocking all the exits. She settles into one of the squishy appendages, looking pleased.
So then, maybe we should order an appetizer.
It's not that I can't believe that this is happening. I have an open mind. Oh yeah, it's just a thing, progressive. Some dudes date other dudes, some girls date other girls, some date both, and some date Cthulhu. It happens. But as far as sudden supernatural shifts to my life, I was really hoping for wizard school. Or just plain old haunting. Some ghosts are pretty cool, right? At least with a zombie or something, I'd know the rules here. What are the rules with this thing? Do I throw dice on the ground to stall her? What? Will she attack me if I touch her with iron? I'd listen to my gut, but I can't make anything but general foreboding. Demon? You summon demons, so that fits. But I don't know, something doesn't seem quite right about that. Maybe she's excuse me? Oh! I can barely think, but at least I fall back on the one set of rules. I struggle to stutter out the rote reply. Would you like to start off with a super salad tonight? The man grins, gives an eager nod. Could I please get the blue cheese salad? And for my sweet tea? Teleporia rolls her eyes, and her teeth flash as she cuts in.
Hendrik, I've been on enough of these sham dates to know that ordering for your companions is rude.
Well, not if you get it right, then it's just kind of romantic. So the thing is, I would never do that for a girl because I don't have that kind of confidence in myself, but a girl could easily do that for me because I'm so easily pleased. Rhymes. His face falls. But it's been ages since you've eaten any food. You're chewing on the fork right now. She gives him a glare and slowly places the slightly bent cutlery back down on the table. Fine. But before he can say another word, she makes her move.
I don't want your advice, though.
I want the young human to choose for me. Oh, no.
Oh, that's me.
He sighs, annoyed. My demon girlfriend. But he checks himself before looking at me. I think he knows that she's putting me on the spot. I can appreciate that he's trying to look out for me. Bro, I'd appreciate it more if he could have not summoned some kind of eldritch thing during an already busy Saturday shift. Or at all. I use my throat open to squeak out. Tomato biscuit. Caesar salad. Lamb chili. So for me, Caesar salad is always the best. I love Caesar salad. Lamb chili, though. That do sound good. To tomato bisque. I'm not as familiar with lamb chili. You know, I feel like you got some sharp teeth in there. They're probably made for some meat. This doesn't seem to mean much of anything to her. Great. What would you like for your entree? She slams her fist down on the table. My stomach lurches. First, bring me the mat. This physical form requires fuel to sustain itself. I turn on my heel and fly out of there. An excuse to leave. If there are any kindly extra-dimensional beings looking down on me right now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. I rush into the kitchen. Okay. Back in the kitchen, everyone's still bustling about. Other servers are calling in their orders. The ambitious cooks are working. The slightly less ambitious cooks are cracking jokes with each other. They're as oblivious as the customers out front. I can see my manager discussing some menu changes with the head chef. Hey, does anyone else see what's going on out there? But no one turns to look at me. Hey, I'm serious. What's going on? Are they ignoring me? Am I dead?
Perhaps I was the monster all along.
Do you expect me to come back here and bring in this order like nothing's wrong? I take a sarcastic tone. Yeah, we got blue cheese and chili for table 6. Just another usual night, right? Without warning, a tray with the order is put down on the counter next to me. But other than that, there's no hint of a glance. No guilty looks. Hey! Nobody even flinches. Fine. Looks like I'm on my own. A little creepy. A little weird. Not gonna lie. Did I tell you how lovely your eyes are this evening? All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them that I can see. Until later.
From your ever effusive sewer pipe of compliments springs something worthwhile. I made most of them myself, but the eye in the center of my head was my reference object.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I couldn't even tell the difference. Your anatomy has gotten so much better since the last decade.
It is easier when I have a fresh supply of study materials. So I suppose I can remain here long enough to consume some matter. Let no sentient being claim that I do not repay my debts.
Well, that's just one of the perks of the job. Teachers can bring home knowledge. Cooks can bring home food. And surgeons can bring spare body parts back to their girlfriends. Oh! He's not me. I don't have the steady hands or the desire to cut people open. I can say with relative certainty that that isn't how it works, which, yeah, that's fair. If I ever find out this man's last name, I'm never going to his hospital. I've served Teleporia her chili, trying not to get too close. Please be careful, it's very hot. Remember, sweetie, that too much heat can injure...
Silence me, Garden. I know what to do with volatile heat sources.
Oh, she flings the scalding liquid across the table and it hits Hendrix square in the chest. That's not square in the chest. He rushes to the bathroom, face red from pain. We don't serve our suits at the heat that could do permanent damage, but that still has to hurt. She closes most of her eyes and inhales a deep breath, satisfied. She speaks again. Her rough voice has a tranquil tone.
Clean it up, human. This is an establishment with standards, is it not?
I'm about to jab you in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of your eyes, lady. I'll punch a demon, I ain't scared. I'll drop kick Cthulhu's daughter to the throat. Bring it. I will scissor kick you to the trachea. Well, it was, I mutter. The elegant charm might be a bit altered by the sudden presence of giant tentacles. She snuggles down into her seat.
This is a gift for your owners. This is a sliver of my true form.
Well, it's lovely. Sorry that you didn't like the chili.
Apology unnecessary, human. I enjoyed that immensely.
She sniffs the air.
And it smells nice as well.
She dabs a little bit of the meat on her neck. On her neck?
This body has concentrated blood flow around the throat and wrists. These pulses point heat and disperse stray molecules of matter, allowing humans to perceive them with their noses.
She seems quite pleased with this luxury. She wraps the scarf around herself. Now that I think about it, the clothing Hendrik brought for her is all very heavy. A maxi skirt, a thick sweater, and a blanket scarf. The way you're clutching that scarf, are you cold?
You may not have my scarf. It retains my heat. I will continue to generate and retain heat, and it belongs to me, not you.
I take a step back. No, that's all your heat. Fair and square, she growls. Happily?
Yes, all mine. Hendrik will be procuring more matter this evening, which will continue to power this form.
Are you talking about sex or feces?
Physical exertion is a luxury, the caloric energy necessary to move but a digit.
She lifts one of her own claws.
Talaporia.
Self-voicing enabled. Self-voicing disabled.
Thank you.
Is precious. I have gone for thousands of years living in wait for foolish summoners to tear open rifts and let in the good heat from your world.
Talaporia leans down on the table. The edges of the scarf trail into her chili. Or at least what's left of it. Is it selfish to be happy that she's disarmed now? I look at the still present tentacles and recalculate that statement. She at least cannot harm me with soup. And that's a win. Celebrate the little victories, my guy. And that's something.
So, human, how do you enjoy generating your own heat?
It's good. I'd rather just turn on the heater, though. It's not great, really. Have you ever gotten sweaty? I like it. Physical activity is fun. I'm gonna answer for me, because this is me. And that is me. That's my girlfriend. I don't enjoy physical activity. You're gotten sweaty. I fan my collar a little. I could really use a cold drink right now. She gives me a quizzical look.
Are you implying that at times you generate too much heat?
In the summer, when the sun gets closer to the earth, everything gets hot and gross. Humans can get so warm they die. Her eyes open wide. Both of them. All of them.
Do you catch fire and burn?
No, not like getting burned. It's just too much heat for the whole system, I think.
And you cannot simply uncover yourselves and release the heat into the vacuum of space?
No, ma'am. Vacuum of space is too far away, and in the summer we're surrounded by too much heat.
Ha! Your creator failed to take the seasons into account. Tell it to mind that on the next draft. I'm overheating.
I assure her that I will, and out of the corner of my eye, I see Hendrik returning. That's a different spot. That's more like square of the chest. You've been shot. And Hendrik returns. Getting along well?
As well as might be expected.
Still, thank you for keeping her company. We'll eat our appetizers, and she shakes her head.
I'm finished with mine.
Of course, how could I forget? So then, would you like to move on to the main course now?
The
next part of the meal?
Ah, yes, with the larger portions.
Hendrik points to her menu. So, what were you thinking about? I always like steak, but I admit that I was kind of thinking about splurging on the...
Hey, human Kieran.
Howdy. I snap to attention. Yes, ma'am.
Choose. Do it promptly and wisely, or else I will need to consume something else for my main course.
She's staring me right in the eyes, and her gaze lingers on my mouth. She stares at my teeth and licks her lips. Sexy. Could she eat my teeth? Not what she's going for. Well, I think you would enjoy porterhouse steak. We have live lobsters. She wants heat. She wants heat. And I need my headphones back. And the steak's the only thing that would be warm, but I feel like you enjoyed the thrill. Hendrik gives a bit of a nod. That's my order too. It's been a while, but this is a special night. What? At what point did you humans discover the joy of consuming live creatures? Wait, she doesn't think that I'll serve it to her while it's still. No, sweetie, I'm afraid that most of us are still a touch prudish about that sort of thing. But they have the tank here, so the lobster is fresh. Feh! Nothing as fresh as squeezing the life from a creature with your jaws. Feel it writhing and struggling in a fruitless attempt to stave off the icy curtain of death. She's looking straight at my throat.
Tell the citadel's coming right up. I'll rush away as quickly as I can.
I try to convince the chef to let me serve one lobster live. I feel downright ghoulish, but between me and a crustacean, I'm going to defend myself every time. I mean, self-preservation. It's not a weakness, usually. But her reaction is the same as the last meal. She prepares the dish as usual and hands them off to me. Oh. I'm assuming then she just didn't react to anything, is what it said. What is this? She lifts up the extra utensil. It's the lobster cracker. You use it to crack open the shell. This is a fair idea, but it's such a waste, Kieran. To use this on a deceased creature. Well, if food is dead, isn't it easier to consume? She waves a claw at me.
Not if you have to crack it open anyway.
Oh, fair. Hendrik is already digging the meat out of his.
I like it. It's soothing to have a little tactile activity as part of your meal.
Teleporia claws slip on the lobster cracker.
Meat shield, how are you employing your tool?
Well, you put either end of the metal bit over.
Raise it up and demonstrate.
He holds the lobster cracker and one leg up. Leaning forward so they're close enough for her to get a good look. She holds up hers, pantomiming his action. And then promptly grabbing one of his hands, wrapping the cracker around his pointer finger, gripping it tightly. Oh! His finger juts out at an odd angle. Blood drips onto the torn tablecloth. She cackles and throws the metal tool at his head.
Fool! I can easily employ such a simple item.
Ah! He's leaning away from his injured hand, the other on his face. Right you are. You got me. This seems like a rather abusive relationship, personally. He sure does look embarrassed. It's really hard to tell through the pain. I mean, it's an expression of pain on his face, right? I guess she got him? He breathes heavily, trying to get himself under control. As though to prove a point, he goes right back to eating dinner. As though nothing were wrong. So before I go, is everything to your liking? Is the food powering your true form enough?
Silly Kieran. When in my true form, I do not consume human fuel.
Huh?
This human template, my... what do you call it?
Hendrik's caught mid-bite, and he covers his mouth to respond.
Human sauna.
Like a fursona. You crazy, Hendrik.
My human sauna, it consumes calories, inhales oxygen, excretes feces, all the same as you yourself, I assume.
I never expected to have a restaurant patron ask if I breathe and poop, but here we are.
But my true form requires something much more deeply sustaining.
She stares me down. The music stopped. I'm not ready. She looks at my teeth again. She looks me in the eye. She holds that eye contact and waits. I try not to squirm, but my moxie is inadequate for the situation. She waits. I can breathe again. Delicious. A light dusting of fear. Nothing too overwhelming. If that doesn't strike her as much fear, please let me never ever learn what she does. Or what does. Probably what she does too. So you eat fear then? It falls under my purview. Suffering. Sweetie's true form eats concepts. And she builds her human sona to have quite the taste for them too. I would have loved it if one of his figures was just... Any form of important emotion can sustain her. But she's picky. I am not. Suffering is the only thing worth eating. Eating anything else would be beneath me. Oh. So that's why she's hurting him and making him suffer. The appetizer is just lightly burning him. The main course is making him break a finger. What is dessert? It's okay, whatever you eat. I love you just the way you are. And I would like you much better with several more stab wounds to the head. Anytime, sweetie. My man's a bit beta, if you know what I mean. Not like me. So I managed to sneak away for the next 15 minutes. I know that I'll eventually have to return. I tried to strike up a conversation with the line cooks again. So how do you guys feel about the recent tentacle invasion? Of course, nobody responds. Yeah, it's hard to really put into words, huh? No response. Dishes click. Guess the spooky atmosphere has a certain charm, but I don't think it'll catch on with the baby boomers. Conventional wisdom says they like elegance or rustic charm. Midwestern moms are not into dripping fluids. I mean, as a general group, of course. I don't want to assume individual tastes. Did you just assume that I'm not into drippy fluids? This gets boring quickly, so after the appropriate waiting period, I head back over. So thank you for dining with us tonight. I did it. I made it through the evening. I'm tempted to not even give them a check, just to rush them right out the door. But I refuse to slip up now. It's been a delight getting to know the both of you. How kind of you! You know, I was planning on heading out, but do you know what? I couldn't care less if I attempted, and I am very powerful. I am capable of caring far less than most humans could in their most apathetic dreams. Let's do dessert. Yay! Oh, okay. I look from his smiling face. Teleporia's cruel one. I know how this goes. Let's make a recommendation. Do you feel like drinking? I sure do. After dinner brandy? Screw it, caution to the wind, banana foster flambe. I recommend our chocolate torte for the delightful couple. Oh, flambe! That's on fire! Oh, I'm sorry, Henrik. I think she's gonna like this. Is my professionalism slipping? Must be. Whoops. What are we impregnating? Sweetie, it's a figure of speech. I don't have that function this time around. Sweetie, I think he's just tired. That's okay. I think if I want this to be a truly satisfying night for our esteemed void goddess, she's going to enjoy this dessert. Or at least how we cook it. What is this blathering about? But I can tell I've got her hooked. We cook it tableside, with a huge flame. And there it is. There's the dynamic. I'm not sure about this. Looks like he's picked up on the pattern too. Oh, I insist. I don't even need to write this one down. One flaming dessert for table 6. I scramble about the kitchen grabbing everything I need. Am I cleared to do this? No. 2 weeks is not enough to have permission to set things on fire next to the diners. But tonight's special, isn't it? That it is. I wheel the cart over. See, I knew she'd like it. I knew Henrik wouldn't. Feeling a mite chatty, I take my time prepping to light it on fire. So congrats on getting out of, what did you call it, the cold place? The void. Void. Gosh, what's it like in there?
dark, cold, mostly barren. Locked for something approaching an eternity with nothing but your own thoughts. Useless one can become, unless one can become creative. I do my best to make creatures to fill it, but it is a vast expanse. Literally endlessly big. But with nothing in it. Yeah, I caught part of your conversation before. You made your body, right? Indeed. When rifts become open, I am able to seize not only heat, but stray matter. I modeled the majority of my creations after your carbon-based life forms, but modifications must be made. I'll bet. If the void doesn't have heat, or any of its own matter, you'd need to make creatures that don't eat or breathe, right? Good human. Pet. I model most of them after myself. And you eat concepts? Yes. After billions and billions of years, I have evolved over 1 million species of void creature. Nearly all of them feed, as I do, on the concept of suffering. So it's an endless, barren place with no light, no heat, where the only thing that exists just go around preying on each other's suffering all the time. Yes! Oh, she's so happy. Oh, she's like, oh, they're all hard eyes. I didn't even notice that before. Is it not marvelous? And someday, human Kieran, there will be a rift large enough that it is not tiny scraps and stray humans which fall through, but your entire planet of existence. Horrible. You will enjoy it. Wouldn't I hate it? I got distracted there for a bit, but I grabbed the rum. Can't caramelize it right without a pretty flame. I mean, I don't enjoy suffering. You'd be surprised what humans can get used to. I'm sure I would, Henrik. I used the wrong English word. A closer translation might be resignation. You would become resigned to an existence saturated with pain. Enjoy isn't the correct term. That makes more sense. Unless you're a disgusting cluster of miswired brain signals. Love you too, sweetie. Oh, he's a sexual masochist. Ugh. I know what you're doing, Hendrik. You think if you can keep delaying me with fancy dinners, stolen body parts, gentle words, and rough sex... Could we not talk about our sexuality in public? Thank you. She places a hand on his arm. That you can stop me. You are as disgusting, but an appealing opponent. Look out! And I light it up. The flames shine in her eyes, and I can feel the heat coming off it. I should probably be keeping a close eye on it to make sure it's cooking properly. But looking over at Hendrik and Teleporia, they're holding hands. So simply and happily. She's gripping his hand tightly from joy. And then she jerks him across the table. Straight into the flaming cart. Now that burn, that could cause some permanent damage. Though he may be lucky that that's the worst thing that could happen to him tonight. He executes a perfect stop, drop and roll, and soon the flames are out. Yeesh, he's far from unscathed. Oh my gosh, dude. You're not okay. Oh my gosh. Human, this was a fantastic dinner. Bring us the statement so that we may repay you for your noble worship and gifts. I salute and wheel the remains of the upturned cart away. It's not long before I return the bill in hand. He takes the check. What a man. He seems to do a bit of calculation in his head, then lays down some cash. Well, this evening wasn't a complete waste of time and effort. Organ ravioli. Hendrik looks up at her. Is that your pet name? Organ ravioli? Who's my little organ ravioli? You looking like a snack. I'ma eat you. I'ma gut you like a fish and eat your innards. Just cute couple talk stuff. You may have one short, friendly embrace. He jumps to his feet, arms wide open to hug her, and one of her tentacles slams into him, throwing his body across the room. It slams into the wall, and the ragdolls to the ground. Hulk transaction complete.
Oh no. Did you just kill him? She heaves a sigh.
Would I were so lucky. No, human, I've merely rendered him unconscious.
That's good.
Via severe cranial hemorrhaging.
That's bad.
He will sleep it off. We've ripped off his limbs before. He can take it.
She looks almost fond. She gets up, walks over to him, grabs him by the foot.
Suppose it's time to return him to his residence.
She perks up.
Or I can abandon his body in a trash unit. Perhaps nobody will find him, and he will be placed inside a trash compactor.
As she drags him away, I ask, Miss Teleporia? She turns, quizzical.
Human, I am departing. You've made it through this evening unscathed. You have little to no ability to comprehend how fortunate that makes you. But I suggest you make an attempt.
I clear my throat. I think I'm trapped. I gesture around the restaurant.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Your world usually has even more lights, does it not? Well, I had no hand in this.
And with that, she waves aside a tentacle and marches through the front door. Henrik's head thuds against the ground as she walks down the staircase and out of sight. When I hear the front door close, another server bumps me in the shoulder, stepping past. They give me a dirty look and keep heading their way. Just like that, I'm back. I get moving, clearing the tables, scooping up the check. I check the tip. 40%! Might not cover emotional distress, but it'll cap off the ship pretty well. Alright, that's pretty good. This was quite the experience. But for my own safety, I'm gonna skip the 2 weeks notice. I came here to learn something new, and I'd say that goal was more than accomplished.
Yes, it was.
Oh, ending 4, a hug goodbye. Aw, okay. I liked it. That was alright. That was fun. And you know why you should play it yourself? Because it's free, and also because there's 5 endings total. Yeah, so that was one of them. There is a true ending that you can get, and from what I hear, you get it by inflicting as much damage on Hendrik as possible. So, go buck wild. Thank you to Lola Stevens for suggesting this game. Very happy to have it. And also, I've realized that a lot of comments that have links are getting flagged and being put in for review. And I don't habitually check the review page because those comments are usually just bots. But I'm gonna do better this time. In the future. From now on. That's what I meant to say. Keep telling me games that you want me to see me play, because I'm always happy to play them. If you like what I do here and you want to help me make people happy for a living, then please subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, like and comment, but you know, the subscription hits me right in the heart. But of course, as always, I love you. And have a wonderful day.